y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and on this episode we're going to do a little something different. We're going to do a movie review. And the movie we're going to cover is Boone the Bounty Hunter. The movie made by John Morrison, aka Johnny Nitro, John Hennigan, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact, Johnny any other name you can think of. But with that being said, let's jump right into it. First up, I wanted to put this out here. I did not actually watch the DVD version. I watched the version that's on Netflix. So I don't know if there's differences in the two movies. I doubt that there is. Maybe some extras. This I got from the Pro Wrestling Crate box. I know that there's previews at play because my friend Sean asked me what I thought of the previews, but I told him I watched the Netflix version. He seemed to agree that we watched the same movie, so I don't know if maybe one's a director's cut or not. Either way, I digress. Just full disclosure. We start the movie off, we get John Morrison, aka Boone, chasing down Kevin Sorbo, who you might know from Hercules fame. And it's actually Kevin Sorbo, because part of it is we get to see Jomo's sweet parkour. The part of the premise of the show is Boone is a celebrity bounty hunter, kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter, but he hunts C and D level celebrities, and he has a reality show. Now we find out that the show is not doing so well. The ratings are slumping. It's going to get canceled. So Boone calls in a favor to an FBI friend who's played by Corbin Burnson, who's actually a great actor. There's a lot of really good and quality name actors in this movie. I was a little bit surprised at this with, it being basically a B movie, a Walmart $5 bin type movie. I was kind of shocked at this a little bit. Corbin Burnson basically says, I got a lead. We want to go look for this guy named Ryan, who's about to go on trial. And we cut to Ryan, who's played by Jonathan Lipnicki, who a lot of you guys will remember from either Stuart Little or Jerry Maguire as a little kid. He's all grown up now. He still kind of looks the same, but again, another name actor that's in the movie. A little bit past their prime, but hey, it happens. We see Jonathan, he's partying, or Ryan in the movie. He's partying up with some girls in a hot tub. One of the girls dies from the drugs that he's given her, hence the reason why he's going to court. Boone decides that, hey, this is the break that we need. We'll go after this kid, and we'll capture him because what the fans want is to chase a spoiled rich kid down. So they chase him, but Ryan ends up going down to Mexico when we meet his father, who basically takes him there. His father's named Davenport. Boone goes down to the city in Mexico where he thinks he's going to be. He meets a kid who's also a Boone fan, along with a guy that's tied up with a rope and looks like he's been sitting out in the sun for a week. Tries to offer him some water. Guy doesn't take it, saying that the punishment would be even worse if he did. So we get a little tidbit, and we find out that the town is being run by Davenport, who's Ryan's father. Well, quite early in the movie, Boone and his team, who initially was a three-part team, Rampage Jackson, whose name in the movie I forget, and Denny and Kat. Well, Denny and Kat go with him to Mexico. Rampage stays back in LA, possibly for timing constraints. I want to say at the time this was recorded, Rampage had an MMA fight around that time, so I would assume he was only able to do a little bit. Anyway, we get down there. Oh, and Kat, by the way. The whole movie I'm watching this, I'm looking at her and I can't place where I know her from. And I can't place it. So when the movie's over, I go to IMDb to see who the actress was. It's an actress whose name's Spencer Grammer. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, that's because it's Kelsey Grammer's daughter. It's still, I could see a little bit of him in the face, so I kind of go like, okay. But as I'm looking at her IMDb page, I figure out where I know her from. She's the voice of Summer from Rick and Morty. So Summer's voice, the actress that has the voice of Summer, is in this movie, and it's kind of cool, kind of interesting that I picked that up like that. But I digress. Team catches Ryan. However, in the process, we find out that the authorities in this town are kind of paid off by Davenport, so they arrest the team. However, Boone gets away. Boone gets in a little bit of trouble, fights Ryan's twin bodyguards, gets hurt, gets injured, goes kinds of limps into town, finds the kid who was his fan, so that kid's family helps, or not Ryan, but Boone. that kid's family helps Boone back to health. We see him get healthy. He goes to basically get his team back, but he wasn't going for the team, he was going for the equipment to basically show that he needs help down there. But when the team realizes it was for selfish reasons, they quit on him. Kind of a little bit of a trove. You get to see Boone understand that he's egotistical and he's all for himself. A little bit of a, kind of standard with this kind of movie, but it fit really well in here. After that, we find the kid that's been the Boone fan. We find he gets captured because the cartel, for a lack of a better word, traces the phone calls coming from his family's home, seeing that Boone made the calls from there. Boone vows to go and get the kid back. He goes back to the bar where they initially found Ryan in. Gets into a little bit of a fracas there. Meanwhile, Denny had a camera that goes active in the bar with some movement when we see the people wrestling around. So they see that. They decide they're going to come back and help Boone. Boone basically talks the town into being on his side. They join him, and then here we get another celebrity. Lorenzo Lamas is in there, who you would know from Renegade and several other things, but most famously Renegade. At least that's what I think of when I think of him. They decide that they're going to go back and they're going to make a trade, Ryan for the kid. However, when they get there, we find out that Davenport doesn't care about Ryan, so he's willing to basically let him die just so he could kill Boone and everybody else. We get a big fight between Davenport and his cartel and Boone and the townspeople and Boone's team. Just when it looks like Davenport's going to get away, we see him flying away in a helicopter. Denny puts a grenade on a camera that's on a drone camera, flies it up, blows the helicopter up. A pretty cool fight scene going on here. A lot of stuff I thought was really done well. A lot of the stunts in this movie, and we'll cover that when we go through the wrap-up. But the helicopter blows up, Davenport dies, they have Ryan. Ryan has the kid that he has a gun to his head, and Boone says to Ryan, back from something they watched earlier, he says, give him the Boone special, where kid kicks Ryan in the nether regions. They get Ryan, everybody's cheering. Denny and Kat kiss, because we get a little MacGuffin where it looks like Kat's about to kiss Boone, but we find out it's Denny. A little bit of a swerve, but yeah, a good one. After that, we see a preview for the upcoming season of Boone, basically letting us know that this did help him get re-upped and did help him get his contract for the next season going forward. And then we see Corbin Bernsen's character, whose name slips me, on the phone again. This time we don't know who he's talking to, but he basically says, yeah, they did it. They took out the cartel. Now we can move in and take over. So kind of, in my opinion, setting up for a possible Boone 2. And then that's basically it. And I'm sorry, I meant to say spoilers in the beginning, but you're watching a movie review. Of course there's going to be spoilers. Overall, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I wanted to come into it with lowered expectations, watching the WWE movies that they produce, knowing that there's not a lot of great wrestler movies. I mean, you could count the number of movies with wrestlers, not including The Rock, on their great movies on one hand. But this pleasantly surprised me. It's not the greatest movie. It's not an Oscar winner. The storyline is basic. The storyline is similar to several other action movies. I mean, nothing groundbreaking in the movie. The action scenes are fantastic. Anytime there's an action scene, Morrison kicks ass in it, or Hennigan, I think he goes by on this. He does a really good job. He's actually really good in this. I'd actually like to see a Boone too, because I thought this was a real pleasant surprise and a lot better than I expected going into it. It is predictable. It is your standard fare kind of action movie. But for the budget they had, I think they did a lot. I mean, they had a lot of really good actors in pivotal roles. The actors that played Kat and Denny. Denny to me was a little bit wooden, but he didn't get much character development. Kat was really good. She impressed me. The actress that played her, like I said, I had to look her up afterwards. Rampage Jackson, for his little bit of a role, he was good at what he did. The celebrities that were in it, Jonathan Lipnicki playing Ryan was really good. Corbin Burnson in a couple little scenes he had was good. Kevin Sorbo in the beginning really gave you a feel of what the movie was going to be about. Lorenzo Lamas' character was really good. They were smart enough to put recognizable actors that are good actors in key parts of the movie to keep the movie rolling. Overall, I thought it was a really good movie. I actually enjoyed this a lot. If I were to give it a rating on, say, a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, I'd give it a 4, actually. I enjoyed this. This was better than a lot of action movies I've seen. I've seen a lot of action movies that I didn't like as much as this. You'll like this movie if you're a fan of, I don't know, say Jackie Chan movies. It has a very Jackie Chan type feel to it. It's better than any of the Marine movies I've seen, and probably better than all of the WWE movies. I rather enjoyed this. I actually highly recommend it. If you have Netflix, go check it out. If not, I'm sure you can find it rather cheap. They gave it away in the Pro Wrestling Crate box. But yeah, I want to see Boone too, so check it out. Make it popular. Let's make that happen. I thought it was really good. But basically, that's all I have to say on this topic. My name is George Coles, and this has been a review of Boone the Bounty Hunter.